Hello guys, Airbourne back to Milan. Welcome back and welcome to Linea Rock. You have a gig to play tonight, so are you hot, excited about it? Once again, the Italian audience, you know, is the hottest in the world, so...
Oh, they're always up for it, you know, they're always ready to rock and screaming out and having a good time. They're always having a good time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Yeah. The last time we played it was really good, last couple of times I think. So, yeah, you know, the fans are out there already, pretty much ready to go. So, just can't wait to get up there and get cracking.
Okay, great. So, Running Wild came out 2007, then No Guts, No Glory 2010, now Black Dog Barking, May 2013. So they all came out after 3 years time range, let's say, in between.
Yeah.
Is it a choice or a matter, you know, of schedule, inspiration? Is 3 your lucky number or what else?
This time around, probably last time around, the label sort of had a few hiccups, so to speak, which made things go longer. Yeah. And usually, I mean, if it was up to us, we'd have the albums out like that. But it just sort of doesn't roll that way, however. We use that time anyway to write more stuff, so it's all good, you know. We'll always have an album on the way, and the next one should come out hopefully quicker.
Yeah.
So you have songs ready?
Oh yeah, we write songs on the road.
Okay.
Have you heard of Jodie Foster?
Yeah.
You kind of sound like Jodie Foster. I just kept thinking of that movie. What's the movie? The Sphere, or what is the Sphere? I don't know. They go to space and shit.
Yeah. What do we got? Songs? Yeah. They're always working on stuff.
Always got riffs and stuff. We rock out riffs and soundcheck, get home, and work on them in a rehearsal studio. Yeah.
But first, let's talk about Black Dogs Barking. Is another pure, strong, infectious dose of rock and roll, of course. Once again, very inspired and exciting, which is bringing you to the next level. That's what, you know, a lot of people think. I think you agree. How it works for you when you came, you know, to compose music? Do you have a particular schedule, plans, or a routine, or it's like more spontaneous, as we imagine it to be, since your style is very instinctive and natural?
Yeah, it's more spontaneous.
Okay.
We don't plan a lot of things, you know. We just sort of roll.
Spontaneity.
Yeah,
we're very much like that.
Yeah. Roll with the punches, kind of.
It's kind of the Australian way.
Yeah, sort of make it up as you go. It's kind of like John McClane Die Hard, you know. Just make it up as you go. See what happens.
Do you work as a band, also on composing?
Yeah, we sort of sound check. We'll make Reese and Joel and I'll take it off in the car and we'll drive around and put words.
You know, record it on the phone or whatever. Made a headphone. Yeah. And then and all songs come out sound like Motorhead. We'll record a riff and then we get back to Australia and we're sitting around at the barbie, you know, putting prawns on, not shrimps, prawns. And then have a few beers, go, listen to a few riffs and go, alright, that riff's alright, let's put that with this one and have a play, and we get in a room, get out the instruments, you know, and then, and then play.
The song Ready to Rock comes from the eponymous album from 2004. You re-recorded it. If I'm correct, you did the same thing with some other songs from the same album on a Running Wild special edition. Why this choice? You kept this one for the third album because 3 is the perfect number. How can you explain, you know, that it's not a matter of lack of inspiration, the fact of re-recording old songs?
We basically had all 9 songs done. Ready to Rock hadn't been done yet. We'd always been working on Ready to Rock. We always wanted to re-record Ready to Rock. We've always had lyrics like sitting around for.
Yeah, we're always ready for Ready to Rock, but we weren't just ready.
But in the studio, after song 9, we just knew, we just tried to think what song was the album missing, and we knew that.
And then we were ready
to rock.
to rock.
And then it ended up being the first song on the album. So
and it kind of when we were mixing the album, you know, we're like, how's Ready to Rock sounding? And then it was the 10th song to be mixed, 10th song to be recorded. We're like, it'll be the 10th song on the album. It just was like that was the thought. And then when I got the first mix back, you know, we cracked it. Went, holy fuck, you know, this is the opener, you know. And even you know, Dave Rack at Roadrunner was like, this has got to be the opener. And everyone was thinking that way, like, with the whoa and stuff. get everyone in. And then like now we find we go to a venue, like we'll be playing, and you know, before doors is open, and the crowd will be out there in a line, and they'll be all singing the Walls. You know, like they love it as much as we do. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
So you collaborated again with producer Brian Oates, who's also a songwriter and musician.
This is the first time we've recorded with him. Yeah.
And the Sharp Brothers also was doing the artwork.
Oh, we used them on the last album.
Okay. So they did not do the last one as well? The Sharp Brothers?
No, they did the last one.
Yeah, okay.
Just this
they
one
did
with
both.
Brian,
Okay.
yeah.
So is that a sort of winning team for Airbourne that you're not gonna change? Or if you know somebody like Matt Lange would call, would you accept him to produce an album?
Well, I think with Brian Howes, I think we do have a good team. We'd like to do another album with him. I think. It'd be a lot of fun.
He knows his shit, you know.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. So, and we got on really well.
And he's an 80s drive.
Yeah. And so when we had a pool party while we were doing the record in his house, so you know it was pretty good fun. So
yeah, we're playing Battlefield 3, which is Battlefield 3 at the time. It's now Battlefield 4. We were playing Battlefield 3 with Jay. Jay Van Buderon's the engineer. Having big Battlefield 3 sessions, and that was pretty cool. Yeah.
So if Matt Lange calls, it's a no.
Wouldn't necessarily be a no.
No, I wouldn't say that, because Brian would be like, yeah man, you gotta do it, and then Brian would be like, but I'm fucking coming down. We're like, yeah, we'll do it all together, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a very strong fan base, which is now addicted to your formula, let's say, which is, you know, unmistakable, very distinctive. Like your main influences, as you know, you mentioned ACDC, Motorhead, same thing, just to pick a couple. Do you ever feel trapped, in a sense, you know, in that formula when you compose songs, or it's like, that's what we want to do and we don't care?
Well, when you say trapped, do you mean trapped like Jodie Foster in Panic Room?
Unbelievable.
No. Okay. We have, well, I mean, look, a formula, I mean, it's sort of, we never look at it like it is a formula. We just, it's whatever the riff is doing and whatever the band is doing, it just seems to always go a certain rock and roll way. It always comes out that way.
We always just had a way of doing things.
Yeah, we don't actually think, because we always do two verses and then the chorus and then a solo and then a fucking, we don't always think, that's the way everything's got to be. It's just like you're there riffing away going, what feels best next, you know? We need to amp it up some more, so we'll go to the chorus, or change the key to it in the solo, or something. Every song is individual. There's no real formula. So
yeah,
like Jodie Foster, she escapes from the paint room,
right?
And it's happy days.
So a Gibson guitar through a Marshall amp is the combination par excellence in rock and roll.
Yep.
Do you always use, you know, the same in the studio, the same combination also in the studio, or sometimes you experiment something else?
Oh, yeah,
the vintage Marshalls.
Yeah, the vintage Marshalls.
You can't beat them, you know.
You can't beat the vintage Marshalls, you know, in the studio, particularly the vintage ones. You know, I mean, we do switch around little things here and there, you know, like for example, Wizard make great amplifiers. We'll try them, you know, and we'll try, you know, the Marshalls, and whichever one wins. We'll even try different guitars. We'll try Gretsch guitars.
Okay.
You know, but it's generally, you know, always comes back to the Gibson guitar. I have a bunch of old SGs that I tend to use a lot. Rhodesies, you know, he's always rocking. You know, either a Gretsch or an Explorer or something, or you know, whatever he's rocking there. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever works for the song and whatever feels right to play and sounds best. So yeah, we don't use any pedals as such. There's no effects. It's just all about getting the right tone, we spend a lot of time moving mics, as opposed to anything, because we know which amps do sound good. It's just about capturing them.
Okay. Yeah. Airbourne music has been used in more than 20 video games, countless film scores, trailers, WWE, and how does it feel for you? Is that another sign of huge success?
Oh, it's good. you know, it gets the band out there, and you know, when people are playing video games and they're playing like Need for Speed, you know, like just running from the cops of shit, and then like, you know, some rock and roll Airbourne comes on, you're like, and then you get away. That's what we want, you know, have a few beers and rocking out playing the games. Probably not rocking out, but watching a movie. But no, we like all that sort of stuff, you know, helps, you know. Some people say, oh, I discovered your band. I was actually playing a video game at a mate's house. We were all really drunk and we were like, playing the game and I heard the song. And
discovered your band watching Yogi Bear.
Yeah. And then I got on my Motorhead phone and then I went, what's this band called? Shazam. And then you heard of it, oh, it's Airbourne rock and roll. Cool, download 3 albums. And then and all singles and everything else. You download the whole lot and do it again for your mates. And then
what do you think is, you know, the game or the soundtrack that your music fits the best to?
Action. I mean, if they do Die Hard 6, and you know they want us, or Expendables 3, you know, I'll throw this out there. Stallone, if you're fucking watching, man, get us involved. You know, Statham with fucking Stallone, fucking, you know, with rock and roll. We've got a song called Firepower that would work well for something like that. A lot of our songs would, but generally you wouldn't really find, you know, Airbourne in a serious documentary about child labour. I don't think. I don't think that'd be like. It'd just be like Timing in the Rough. Whoa.
So it was 2003 when it all started for you guys. A lot happened meanwhile. Did you expect, you know, to be here 10 years later stronger than ever? I mean, did you imagine that could be, you know, doing, you know, music for a living for you guys?
You never really think like that. So, I mean, it's funny that we're still here because, you know, we never really thought, oh, we'll make a living out of this, you know, we'll put down house payments and stuff. We don't even have a home. We just live on a bus. And we fucking, you know, we just exist. We're kind of like gypsies in a way.
Yeah.
We exist now, one day we won't be here, but for right now we are here.
Do you remember which was your goal in the early days? Is it the same today, or it changed?
Yeah, it's always just keep going forward, play we've never played, and keep going forward, keep going up, keep getting louder, keep getting more, you know, more gear, more trucks, and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
You come from a drinking small town. And you define your music 7 days a week, working man's rock and roll. I read also that you used to bring your instruments when you were younger to your job and create music and so on. Was, in a sense, this your destiny determined, you know, from, you know, the cradle to the grave? Is it rock and roll?
It is, no, pretty much, you know, that's where that song comes from. It was sort of like just reflecting. But no, we were just sort of looking back on what we had done and what we do, and like, this does make sense for us. And then we, you know, it actually relates to anyone who's a fan of rock and roll in general. You know, if you love rock and roll, you do love rock and roll from the crowd to the grave. It's not like something like pop where you like, you know, some little teeny bopper, like teenage girl goes, oh, I love Britney Spears, and now you don't love Britney Spears anymore. You love the next one, you know what I mean? Then the next one comes, and the next one comes, you just sort of do that, and then you just get old and don't like music anymore and listen to jazz and die. Whereas with rock and roll is you're a fucking rocker for life, and that's it. You know, like look at Lemmy, he's still rocking. You know, he's one of the most hardcore, you know, rockers still to this day, and his age, he doesn't reflect how old the guy is. You know, it's rock and roll to do that, and that's why, you know, people who love rock and roll. That's why rock and roll never die.
There's a lot of action on stage during your show. Do this high energy party continues also after show?
Yeah, we can't wind down, you know, like when we get off stage it's just like you're just wired. It's like you're just fucking taking heaps of speed. You just like, your eyes are darting around, you know, you want to do something.
Even if you didn't drink, which is never what usually happens, but even if you did a show and didn't drink, you'd still be up till 6 because the show is like,
you need fucking horse tranquilizers to fucking calm down.
The shows are like on at like 10 o'clock at night, and then by the time we finish about 11:30, it's like you don't wind down for another 5 hours.
Yeah, you're like wide awake, skitzing out in your bunk, trying to go to sleep. You know.
And which music do you play on the bus? And confess, do you have a copy of Highway to Hell and Back in Black on the bus?
Yeah, I've got a copy of High Voltage, I've got a copy of TNT, 30 Days Done Dirt Cheap, Let There Be Rock, Power Rangers, Back in Black, oh, okay, go on. I was about to rock, I got Flick of the Switch, Fly on the Wall, Who Made Who? Bloody Video Razor's Edge, Stiff Upper Lip, wait a second, Ball Breakers before Stiff Upper Lip, Ball Breakers, Stiff Upper Lip, ACDC live albums before then, the double album, and then I've also got Black Ice.
Okay, so you bought a brick of Angus Ice, so I don't know about that.
You got like 3 copies of Back in Black and White.
Yeah, no, I've actually got 3 copies of every album because I actually got the original. They remastered stuff to go to CD when it first came out, and I went and bought all those again.
Yeah.
So I've actually got different masters and different fucking like just mega act to the max.
And vinyl as well.
I've got and then on vinyl, yeah. So.
But it's very difficult to play vinyls on the bus because it's shaking. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people still mention ACDC, talking, about Airbourne, of course, for those, sledgehammer riffs, 2 brothers in the band, both bands from Australia. Sometimes you seem, to play cat and mouse, very ironically, about the comparison. Did you ever meet Angus and the guys, and did they ever comment directly about your music?
Oh no, I mean, we've never actually met the guys, you know what I mean, but we've met a lot of guys that have worked on their crew or that do work in their crew. We've met Malcolm's son.
Yeah.
And they're all really happy with what we're doing, we're doing rock and roll, Australian rock and roll, with anything, I imagine they want to see that it keeps going like that, Then we're not out there looking at our shoes with detuned guitars going, I want to kill myself because I'm really sad.
Because my girlfriend left me.
Yeah, and they're little tears and they're fucking like, fuck off. They want to see rock and roll, and that's what we're doing, so, it's, fucking Aussie rock.
Any brothers on the road stories? I mean, do you and Ryan ever argue? How is it different, when you have a brother also as a band partner?
I don't know what it's like without that, so probably, a few less cuts on the fucking head, as per the other night.
A little bit, few whiskies.
Less violent would be what I'd imagine, but I don't know what that would be like. I mean, In Excess has 3 brothers. Imagine that fight on the bus. It's probably one in the middle just doesn't even fight. I don't know how that works. Who's massive punch on us down there.
And can you tell us the story of that blown fuse fire burning party you organized? Back in the days, you signed your record deal to Capitol Records, and you were listening to you were listening to Crocus' record Rock the Block. Is that correct?
Yeah, Crocus' record Rock the Block. Quite literally burnt the block.
It was,
what happened? I mean,
basically we had a fire in the backyard. Yeah. We had an all-day drinking session, basically just drinking all day, and then as it
Dylan's doing lines,
Dylan's doing lines.
Everybody excited.
We were blowing up gas. We started blowing up gas tanks and stuff, and then it got late at night. And then we just started taking the couch and stuff from inside, and started throwing the couch and tyres from cars.
Rodney King rides. Pretty much reenactment in the backyard.
and then the house caught on fire.
Because we're doing Crown Casinos, so with the big flamers.
Yeah, that was fun.
So through the years you shared the stage with great classic bands like the Rolling Stones, Motorhead, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden. Which one gave you more chills to share the stage with, and which was the best experience, the one you learned, something?
Motorhead gave the chills, Maiden was the best experience, but then the Stones was awesome meeting them because they were just really nice people.
Yeah, I mean they all sort of have chills, in a way, like fuck.
Yeah.
Which band would you like to tour with, if you can choose?
ACDC.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Really?
It'd be awesome. Listen to ACDC every night for fucking 150 nights a year, that'd be great. I'd do that anyway, 364 times a year, so
we're going to go on tour with Maiden again, because that was really a lot of fun. A real lot of fun, love to tour with them again.
Okay, so I have a last question I have a curiosity about the new record. In the song Woman Like That, is that Alice Cooper singing, you know, the verse, "A mouthful of garter is just the starter."
No, that's me.
It's not Alice, but you know, it's you.
Yeah.
It's you, John.
It's me, I guess. Just some transatlantic kind of Billy Idol accent that just came out. I was just like, I don't know, mouthful of garter. I was like, okay. Sounds a bit seedy, you know, and then they just went with it. I was just having fun in the vocal booth, you know. It's just like, Brian's like, you know, just fucking get into that character, man, into that character. And I'm like, okay. I just thought, what would Billy Idol do? When he's there, like at the strippers with his bottle of champagne, like the only one in there, just going, "Rebel yo, man, yeah." And then it's just like, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. And it got kept.
Okay, so very last thing. What's up next for Airbourne at the moment? Like
touring. We'll be touring all of the rest of this year and then all of next year.
Okay.
So summer festivals next year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Looks like we're doing Buck Cherry early next year, hopefully.
It's announced by websites and not their agency, but it's all good.
And then we'll be touring at the end of next year.
Okay.
And then we'll start working on the record, I guess.
Yeah. And then, fuck, we'll be back in 2015, I think, for maybe real late tour then too.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, could be on the road with Volbeat, could be some action there, could be some action down South America.
Yeah, definitely look at South America.
And and there's that highly rumoured Buck Cherry tour.
It's just not approved yet.
That's all over the internet, but we haven't heard from them, so.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see what their agent has to say.
I'm sure it'll come together.
Yeah, it'll probably come together.
Yeah,
he's probably just got a phone call.
Okay. Thanks very much, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.